So this is a video about how to write background and claims for CERs. So the first thing you need to know is when you're writing a background, the idea is that you are giving your reader some context for what's coming next, what's going to be in the evidence section, what they might see in the reason section. So you're assuming that they don't know anything about this topic and you're just giving some general content, might be some background in terms of vocabulary. It might be some background in terms of concepts that they would need to know in order to understand what's going to follow. So in our school, we have that sixth graders need to have a minimum of 3 sentences, seventh and eighth graders 4 to 5 sentences. Fluff does not count towards your sentences. So if you just say, there's important vocabulary, but you don't really say what it is or how it's connected to anything, that does not count. So kind of ask yourself, does this sentence really add any content to my reader, for my reader or not? And also include transition words and make sure you cite the source. So I want to know, is this coming from the ISN? Is it on a particular page? Is this coming from a website? What's the name of the website? What's the URL for the website? So be clear in your citation. So let's say, for example, this is an imaginary CER and it has natural disasters and climate change CER. And the focus question is, how will climate change impact natural disasters? So what you're wanting to do here is, it's in this little first box here, is to write your background. You look at the title, Natural Disasters and Climate Change CER. You look at the focus question, how will climate change impact natural disasters? You identify keywords or concepts that your reader would need to know in order to understand what's coming next and the evidence and the reasons. So you may want to be explaining, what is a natural disaster? What are examples of natural disasters? What is climate change? And once again, you may be in your interactive science notebook, or you might have to go to other sources to get that information. What you want to avoid is you want to avoid things like because, the reason, and cause, because probably what's going to follow is an explanation that would probably be better in your reason section. It's not to say that it can't work on occasions, but for the most part, if you should scan for because and reason and see and ask yourself, is what follows answering the claim? Because if it is, you should delete whatever follows because. So here's just a sample of what, someone might write. This is like a 6th grade version. According to the ISN, so you're telling me where it's located on page 83. You're telling me the title of the page. What is climate change? It's in quotations. It's capitalized. It says climate change is, and then you're explaining what is climate change to your reader. Then the person maybe go, there are many types of natural disasters that are weather related. Once again, there are other natural disasters that are not weather related, such as earthquakes and tsunamis. And then you might give them a list of some possible examples, including hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding. And then you might go on to explain, for example, on the NOAA website, and you have a link there, what is a hurricane? It explains that a hurricane is blank. What you're not doing in the background is you're not explaining an experiment. So you don't want to be like, in the experiment, we did this. That is not background information. You're also not saying my claim is correct because. You're not going there. Also, if you're given a handout that has data on it, like your evidence sheets, don't cite that handout for your background. You want to go back in your notebook and find something that happened before. Hence the reason it's background. Oopsie. And then a claim. So claims they answer the focus question. They need to be accurate and specific. If it's not correct at first, as you go and you revise the evidence, just like scientists would do, you would revise your claim to reflect your current understanding based on the evidence. So once again, I'm looking at the focus question. How will climate change impact natural disasters? So for example, maybe my claim is climate change will impact natural disasters. So this would be approaching, it is accurate, but it's not specific. So often there is a directionality, meaning greater than, less than, faster, slower. So if there's some way that you're going to be, more or less, if there's a word that you could use in your claim, it should show up. So for example, the revised claim, and we do those revisions, you would cross out whatever's incorrect in brown, strike through, and then add in purple to show the change. So the revived claim, climate change will impact, oopsie, I didn't write this right. Climate change will increase, like, oh, I'm recording, I can't change it. Climate change will increase the number and severity of natural disasters. So this is both true and specific. So that would be, and claims often at this level are just literally one sentence, making a statement about what you think is true. Okie doke. Hope that helps. Once again, look at the checklist that we have. Make sure you're kind of following along with it. Avoid because and cause and why in your background, and make sure you use appropriate sources and cite them properly so we are clear what you are citing and where you found it. Okay, hope that's helpful.